What happens when the man who built an empire from the ground up walks through its doors as a nobody? What does he discover when he trades his tailored suit for a simple uniform? Sometimes the hardest truths hide in plain sight, until one day you see them for yourself. Let's dive in and see what happens when the owner of a successful company goes undercover, only to be humiliated by his own employees. Logan Brooks had built Brooks Tech Solutions from nothing. He had once been the man who stayed up late coding software, making calls, and convincing people to believe in his vision. He had sacrificed sleep, friendships, and even his health to turn a small startup into a thriving company with hundreds of employees. But success had a price. As the company grew, Logan became more distant from the daily operations. He relied on reports, managers, and spreadsheets to tell him how things were going. He trusted his leadership team to uphold the same values he had built the company on: respect, hard work, and integrity. One day, a close friend, Derek, who still worked in the company, pulled him aside. "Logan, I don't think your employees know what this company stands for anymore. The culture is changing, and not in a good way. Maybe you should see it for yourself." Logan felt a knot form in his stomach. He had always prided himself on running a company where employees felt valued. Was that no longer the case? He needed to know the truth, and there was only one way to find out. A week later, Logan entered Brooks Tech Solutions as a new recruit under the name David Lane. Instead of a suit, he wore a plain shirt and jeans. He had trimmed his beard, changed his hair, and wore simple glasses. No one recognized him. The first shock came when he entered the customer service department. A middle-aged manager, Carl, glanced at him with disinterest. "You the new guy?" Carl muttered. "I don't have time for training. Just sit there and figure it out." Logan sat at a desk, confused. He had built this company on teamwork and support. Why was a new hire being left to struggle? As he worked, he overheard employees mocking customers behind their backs. They laughed about how stupid people were for calling tech support. Logan clenched his fists. If his customers were being treated like this, it was a serious problem. Lunchtime was worse. Logan sat alone, trying to talk to employees, but they either ignored him or gave dismissive replies. "Newbies don't last long here," one of them sneered. "You either toughen up or get out." Logan felt a sinking feeling in his chest. What had happened to his company? Later that afternoon, Logan made a mistake while assisting a customer. It was a small error, nothing serious, but Carl saw it. The manager stormed over. "Are you completely useless? How hard is it to do your job?" His voice echoed through the office. Employees snickered. Logan stayed calm. "I just need a little guidance," Carl scoffed. "Guidance? We don't babysit here. If you can't handle it, maybe this isn't the place for you." Humiliation burned through Logan, but he kept his mouth shut. He had been in this company for one day and had already been belittled and ignored. How many others had faced this? How many good employees had been pushed out? That night, Logan sat in his car staring at the building. The company that bore his name, the dream he had worked so hard for, had become a place of fear and disrespect. He wasn't just disappointed. He was furious. The next morning, Logan walked into the office as himself. The same employees who had ignored or mocked him the day before suddenly sat up straight. Carl's smug expression vanished, replaced by sheer panic. Logan stood in front of them, his voice calm but firm. "I spent one day here as a new recruit, and what I saw disgusted me." His gaze swept across the room. Employees mocking customers, a manager who humiliates instead of leads, a workplace built on fear instead of respect. No one spoke. The silence was suffocating. Carl cleared his throat. "Sir, Logan cut him off. "You called me useless yesterday, Carl. Do you still think that?" Carl's face turned pale. He stammered, searching for words, but there was nothing he could say. Logan turned to the employees. This company was built on respect and integrity. Somewhere along the way that was lost, but starting today, we fix it. Just as Logan was about to leave the meeting, an older employee, Marcus, spoke up. "Sir, it's not just Carl. The culture changed when the company got bigger. People started caring more about numbers than people. We lost the heart of what made this place special." Logan felt something shift inside him. He had spent so much time chasing success that he hadn't realized what he had lost. His company had grown, but at what cost? He nodded. You're right, and I take responsibility for that. That day, changes began. Carl was fired on the spot. Managers were retrained. Employees who had been mistreated finally had a voice. And Logan? He didn't retreat back to his office. He spent the next few weeks working alongside his team, rebuilding the culture from the ground up. One afternoon, Derek walked up to him and smiled. You finally saw it, huh? Logan nodded. Yeah, and I won't let it happen again. Because a company is only as strong as the people who build it. And the true measure of a leader isn't how big his empire is, it's how well he takes care of the people inside it. Logan didn't just save his company. He saved himself from becoming the kind of leader he had always despised. Sometimes we need to step back and see things for what they really are, before it's too late. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.